All right, everybody had some, I see some coffee out there. Come on, guys. Good morning, everyone. All right. Well, we're really excited to be here this morning. We're going to give you a glimpse into the inner workings of the commercial data warehouse, the ad sales data warehouse at NBC Universal this morning. Over the past 2 years, Eric Barner and myself have been working together on a major refactoring of our data warehouse to provide the business with more robust, detail-level reporting, while re-architecting a solution that meets all the best practices, the industry best practices, that make sure that it's flexibly designed and efficient. And in this presentation, we're hoping to share with you some of the key principles and technical best practices employed at NBC that help make this project both a business success and a technical success. For our agenda this morning, I'm going to do just a quick overview of the ad sales business at NBC. And then we're going to dive into the real meat and potatoes here. This is my 4th year at the Teradata Partners Conference, and the sessions that I've really enjoyed the most are the ones where I can walk away with an insight, an idea, something that I can take back to my desk and apply to my own projects. And I'm going to go in, after giving you that overview, share some key principles, strategic, project management, how we let this thing grow organically. And then Eric's going to share with you some of the technical best practices. So the flip side of the coin, how do we make it a technical success, a business success versus a technical success? So first, let's talk about NBC Universal. NBC is one of the world's largest media and entertainment companies in the world. We have a diverse portfolio spanning across broadcast TV, cable TV, digital. We even have movies with Universal Studios and theme parks and resorts with our Universal Studios theme parks. It's a $21 billion business. That's what we reported publicly last year. $21 billion. And a significant portion of that revenue comes from TV ad sales. And in our TV ad sales, our customers are Toys R Us, Coca-Cola, Ford, Procter & Gamble, many of those companies that may be represented here in this room. And those corporate sponsors are they want viewers to see their commercials, to drive up their sales, to raise brand recognition, and hopefully drive traffic into a store so their products would be purchased. The more people who tune into our shows, the more ads are viewed, the more money that we make, and hopefully the more money that our corporate sponsors make as well. So how do we attract those viewers? Up on the screen you see our wide portfolio of different selling titles. Whether you're into talent competitions like The Voice or America's Got Talent. If you're a sci-fi junkie, how many of you have been watching Revolution? I mean, it's just been the number one, new show of the season. Been a great hit for us. If you're into sports, how many of you tuned into the 2012 London Olympics? It was a tremendous success for our company. Sunday Night Football has been great for us. If you're into sports, you got that. We have news with all the political coverage that's going on with the presidential election. MSNBC, CNBC from a financial perspective. For your kids, we have Sprout. If you're in Hispanic heritage, we have Telemundo and Mundos. Okay, there's sports, there's drama, there's something for everyone. And it's a really diverse portfolio. Let's talk about one particular example. Just a little small show called the Super Bowl. So, earlier this year, NBC had the privilege of broadcasting Super Bowl 46. It was the New York Giants versus the Patriots, and we're from New York, so go Giants. And so, quick poll in the room, okay? I'm looking for some participation here. How many of you watched at least some portion of the Super Bowl? Raise your hand. All right, we got maybe 2/3 of the room there. So it was a huge event. It's as much about the commercials as it is for the event itself. 111 million people tuned in this last February to watch this. That's, and it became the most watched, in terms of raw viewers, the most watched television show in history. For the first time this past year, we streamed it online. And let me clarify. This is the first time that the Super Bowl was streamed online legally. Okay? So some of the gripes that we heard out there, right, was about delivery and maybe somebody had to work, or they wanted to watch it on their mobile device. I want to watch it on my computer. Maybe I opted not to get the TV portion of a cable package. But I still want to watch the Super Bowl, right? We answered the call. We said there's this huge demand out there to watch the Super Bowl, to watch events over streaming, and that's becoming more and more prevalent. And people said, hey, if you give us a way to do it legally, we'll do it legally. And we did that this last year. And we were able to realize some ad revenue from that as well. Total revenue for the event, $250 million. A 30-second spot cost $3.5 million. That's about $100,000 per second. So when I was watching the Super Bowl, I like to count it like this: $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. So you see how this adds up very quickly. Imagine your business is bringing in that amount of revenue in such a short period of time. Within 10 seconds, that's $1 million. Right there. And that was just one 3-hour event. You start adding in Revolution or the 2012 Olympic Games, add in The Voice, and you have a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Okay? The business of NBC is big, and for us, so is the data. Because of our size, we have a lot of complexities to tackle. And it's mostly about the way that NBC has grown. We've grown primarily through merger and acquisition. In 2004, NBC was, as a standalone company, merged with Vivendi, and we, through that merger, acquired Universal Studios and the movies and the theme parks, a portion of that. But from a TV perspective, we added USA and Sci-Fi to our portfolio. Last year, in 2011, NBC is actually wholly majority owned by Comcast. And Comcast, when they bought NBC, actually added some of their own properties, television properties, into our portfolio. So E, Style, G4, Sprout, Golf Channel, NBC, Versus, which is now known as the NBC Sports Network. And during that time, through all these acquisitions of acquiring new properties, we've acquired new business cultures, and we've acquired their respective systems as well. Okay? And across the board, we have 30 different television properties, most of which are listed down below, a lot of which you'll recognize. And as we've acquired those properties, we've acquired their respective sales and traffic systems too. Across NBC Universal Ad Sales, we have 20 different sales and traffic systems. Maybe even more than that, just hiding out there. But each of those lines of businesses function in a very siloed manner, each with their own unique business processes and terminology. If I go to one side of the business and I have a business metric called book business, I can go to another division, okay? And because their culture is different, because their terminology is different, it actually means something completely different to them, all right? The same term, different definition. And actually, this booked sales metric in one division, I go to the other division and say, no, that's not book sales, that's archive sales. So we have situations where it's exactly the same business definition, but they call it two different things. And it can get very confusing and somewhat overwhelming, And, it's extremely complex. Another example is we have 58 versions of one of our clients. Procter & Gamble is one of our big clients. And across all those systems, we have 58 different versions of that client master record. And you could imagine how difficult it becomes. To answer a simple question, an executive comes up to us and says, hey, can you get me the sales for Procter & Gamble or for client X from last year? And without the data warehouse, our response would be, sure, we could get that for you. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And in ad sales, and this is a play on our title, there's an important sales meeting in May. It's called the Upfront. It's a big sales meeting where marketers come in and they we unveil our lineup for the upcoming season. We say, here are our new shows, and we sell a significant portion of our ad sales during that time. It's about several months in advance. We say, here's our new lineup. Would you like to buy some ad time? And in that 2-month period, we'll sell about 60% of our inventory. It's not unlike Christmas time at a retailer. It's a big deal for us. And during that critical sales period, it's important for the data to be at our fingertips. It needs to be minutes away, not 2 weeks away. If you walk away with one concept, I would want it to be this, okay? Our goal as technologists is to transform the complex into something simple. No matter where you are in technology, whether you're in network administration, supply chain management, application development, business intelligence, or data warehousing, if you're in IT, your sole goal is to take complex things and make it simple. A few years ago, my son walked up to me with an iPod, and he said, "Hey, Daddy, I found a game I want to buy. Can you type in your password?" He was about 3 years old at the time, and this is happening across the United States. It's not, nothing special here, but you guys have seen this. But when that happened, it totally blew my mind. Here's a boy, 3 years old, barely out of diapers, right? Just still trying to grasp the intricacies of the English language and can't even read. And he's figured out how to take this device, not only play games, but to go to the App Store, search through the games that he wanted to buy, and then bring it up to the checkout line. He didn't know or care about the technology behind making that possible. And, this is something, basically, if you go back in a time machine, brought this back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this would be the thing of science fiction, right? To have a device that powerful, that small, to be able to do what it can do, it's an extremely, extremely advanced piece of technology that we kind of take for granted nowadays. And think about that, right? Think about the technology it takes within the device, the touch screen, the battery, and the wireless connection, the infrastructure it takes to connect him when he's buying a game to a server maybe out in California, the development effort that went into the game, just everything from a technology perspective. It's so complex. But here's the little 3-year-old boy, doesn't know about any of it, and he didn't really care about it. And it's the same at NBC. Dozens of sales systems, 58 versions of one client. Our business partners do not care about how complicated it is to get that data, nor should they be bothered by it. It's our job as technologists to worry about the technology. Let the business focus on the business. I've worked in data warehousing for about 12 years, like David said. Different industries, different companies, a lot of different leadership, thought leadership I've seen around data warehousing, different managers with different styles. And during those 12 years, you begin to see patterns. And I've distilled my efforts and my team's efforts into really 4 common goals. And something I'd like to call the 4 A's. Number 1, acquire data. If it's not in your data warehouse, it's not available for reporting, then it doesn't create value for anyone, right? Identify those key systems in your organization that will help you drive your business and drive business decision. Exploit those synergies by bringing them together in the warehouse and organize in a logical way so it's flexible for business requests. If it's not in the warehouse, it's not going to create value for anyone. Number 2, accuracy. If your data cannot be trusted, even if you bring it into a warehouse, guess what? If nobody trusts your data, they're not going to use it. I've heard it said that if you send one bad report to a business user, it takes 6 months to win back that trust. It's very difficult to build trust in your data, and it's very easy to lose it. And if the data's there, if you could have the shiniest tools, the greatest, sexiest dashboards, you could have all the data in your organization integrated in a warehouse. If it's not accurate, if people don't trust it, they're not going to use it, and it's not going to create value for anyone. Number 3, accessible. If I can't get to the data, or if it's too complex to get to the data, maybe I haven't, you failed to meet an SLA and it wasn't available when I needed it, then it's not accessible. If it's not there when I need it, where I need it, then it's not accessible. So around that is meeting load SLAs to ensure daily availability to the business, making sure that the data is available faster, that it's minutes away, not days, not weeks away, and provide better tools to get the information quickly and conveniently.